Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing like a combo of like a monthly favorite and like reviews. So my idea is I'm going to talk about my favorite fashion and beauty products, and then sometimes if there's something that I really hate, maybe I'll include it as well. And I want to give you my book reviews and the TV shows that I'm watching. So it's going to be a nice combination of everything. Hopefully this will turn into the series. If you guys have suggestions for how I should order it, let me know in the comments. But let's get started. So first let's talk about fashion, because I'm currently wearing 2 out of my 3 favorites. So first is this top. I'll stand up so you can see it. This top is from Garage. I'll have a link in the description because I don't remember the exact name, but it's a really simple double line black tank top, and mine has a little bee on it because I have a bee tattoo right here, so you know, I thought they were cute friends. But they did also have like some that were plain and like other little designs here, and they had different colors as well. And I definitely want to go get another one. But there's a couple of reasons why I like this tank top. First, it's a pretty good length, that it's like, sometimes crop tops can be like that they roll up right to underneath your boob, but this one stays long pretty well. And the best part is that because it's double lined, you don't have to worry about wearing a bra with it, that, you know, your nipples don't show through. Which is especially good because when you're wearing like a thin spaghetti strap like this, you don't necessarily want to have the like bra strap showing, so you don't need to wear a bra if you don't want to. I mean, obviously wear one if you want, but I am definitely part of the no bra group. So that's why I really like this one. And the straps, I find they dig, like, you can see they kind of dig into my like shoulders, but not that much that it doesn't hurt. I don't necessarily need a ton of support, so I don't need to wear a bra. Long story short, I love this top. I wear it like all of the time. It's just super comfy. So 10 out of 10, love this top. Okay, so next up are these shorts from H&M. I'll describe them and then I'll stand up and show them. So what I really like about them is that they're kind of like the sweatpants version of shorts, that they're that like sweatpants material, so they're very comfortable. But what I really like is that they're long enough that my butt doesn't hang out, and also they're loose, so they're not like super tight kind of thing. They're just very comfortable overall. So this is like a dark gray pair. I also have a light gray pair as well, and H&M has a bunch of different ones that are all kind of similar. These ones have like metal on the drawstring, but yeah, as you can see, like, you know, there's a little bit of extra space, so they're not too tight, not uncomfortable, and they're quite long, so you know my butt isn't hanging out. So overall, love these shorts. And my final fashion favorite is something that I haven't worn yet. I just purchased it, but it's these shoes from Walmart of all places. As you can see on the inside, they're George and they have memory foam. But what I really like about them is that they just look very sleek. I'm pretty sure Steve Madden have a pair very similar to these. Like, well, these are a knockoff of like Steve Madden, which is probably a knockoff of another shoe. Anyways, I really like these because they're very easy to put on. You know, they're slip-ons and they're very like casual, but I find that the leather quilted makes it a little more elevated than say wearing Vans. So this is kind of like a shoe in between wearing my black Vans and wearing my loafers. Like, this is kind of in the middle. So I think this will be really great. I'm excited to wear these. So next up is beauty. So first, let's talk about this body lotion, because as you can see, I've used quite a lot of it, and like I use this all the time. So this is the Hemp's Sweet Pineapple and Honey Melon Herbal Body Moisturizer, Hydrate and Refresh. It's basically the Hemp's Sweet Pineapple and Honey Melon. So I heard of this that Sierra Schultz was doing like a influencers made me buy this. I forget who influenced her to buy this, but anyways, someone influenced her, so then she influenced me to buy it because she absolutely loved it, and she's 100% right. This is so moisturizing. Like, it makes my body feel so smooth after, and it smells amazing. I'm not a huge pineapple fan, but I wouldn't say that it's too pineapple-y. It actually reminds me There's these like Trident layers gums. I don't know if everyone remembers those, but there is like a Trident layers that like smell exactly like this. I don't know how to describe it, but it just smells amazing. It smells way more that like honey lemon than it does pineapple, and it comes with a pump, so it's very easy to, you know, pump out and put on your body. And I got this on Amazon, and I think it was around $30. I think it was around $30, but honestly it has lasted me like so long. You get so much product, so it's definitely worth it. Up next is a primer. This was actually my product of the month in July, and I've been loving it so much that I'm still using it almost every single day. This is the Touch in Soul. Look at that packaging. This is a Touch in Soul Pretty Filter Glassy Skin Balm. So this is a primer, but it's definitely unlike any primer. So I'll show you that it's like it's almost like a moisturizer, but it's way thicker. It's really easy to just spread it on the skin. So, see, this is what it looks like. And you just rub it in. And then it just makes your skin look so glassy and dewy. I'm wearing it right now, and as you can see, like, I'm so dewy. I'm not even wearing a highlight because this just makes your skin look like it's glowing from within. There's no sparkle in it. It's not like a sparkly primer, so that's why I love it so much, because it makes me look dewy, but it doesn't make me look glittery or sparkly. And yeah, it's just an amazing primer. And then my final beauty favorite, this I did a Glossier order, and my review will be up by the time I post this, because I'm posting this on Friday and filming this on Thursday. So the review is up, and I think my favorite product that I got from Glossier, this is their Generation G lipstick. And I'll show you. I have the shade Cake, which they describe as a peach. I'm wearing it right now, and it's almost more like brownie on me, but this is the shade here. And this reminds me of ColourPop had these lipsticks. Unfortunately, they discontinued them, and this is so old that it's like probably gone bad, but I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite lipsticks, so that's why I still have it. This is a ColourPop Blotted Lip. Now they still have Ultra Blotted Lip, but this is different. So anyways, this is like one of my favorite lipsticks. It gives you coverage, but it's very thin and sheer, and it just looks so natural, but you can build it up if you want. So I'll swatch for you guys so you can see that the formulas are very similar. Oh, that wasn't a good spot to swatch, but as you can see that they're very like sheer. I'll do it here. As you can see, it's like very sheer, but it still has some pigmentation to it. And it's the perfect everyday lip, because you can just throw it on. It looks good. Like, you know, it adds a little something to you besides just like not wearing anything, but it's not annoying to wear. It's matte, but I wouldn't say it's drying in any sort of way. It's just basically the most comfortable everyday lipstick there is. So I really like these lipsticks. Okay, now moving on to books that I read this month. So these are the 3 books that I read. Usually I read 4 in a month, and actually I started this one in July, but I just finished it in August. But as you can see, this one and this one are huge, and they took me way longer than I expected. So let's start off first. I read Drums of Autumn by Diana Gabaldon? Diana Gabaldon. Sure. This is the 4th book in the Outlander series. I'm not going to go super in depth, because when I like to do a series, I like to try and review it as a whole, but I'm reading the books separately. It's kind of confusing. So basically, I watched the TV show before I read the books, and I am not a rereader, so it's kind of ruining my experience of reading the books, because I know what's happening, so I always want to finish the books. So that's why I'm not reading them all in a row, because if I had to read them all in a row, I would literally die. So I kind of put them in between. I usually read them on vacations, because vacations you're like sitting and reading the whole entire time, or at least that's what I'm like. So I read this one at my cottage and I just finished it when I got back from my cottage. Anyways, the 4th season was probably one of my favorite seasons of the TV show, and it's kind of sad because I think it was one of the more recent ones, so that's why I didn't like this book as much, because I knew what was going to happen. I remember what was going to happen a lot more. Some of my notes is that I did like that a lot of this book had Jamie and Claire together for most of it, but I found that it started to get a little repetitive halfway through. Diana has lots of really long descriptive passages, which is nice, but because I know what's coming, I ended up just skipping through a lot of it, trying to just get through the dialogue or through the most important parts. I liked what was happening in between Bree and Roger, and I do like Roger better in the books than the TV show. I gave this one a 3.75. So yes, take with that as you will. If you want my opinion, if you're interested in watching the show and you think you might want to eventually read the books before the TV show. I know my friend said the opposite, that she liked reading the books after the TV show, but it depends. If you don't mind rereading stuff, then you could do it that way. Very long-winded. I still don't know how I feel about this book. Okay, up next is The Siren by Kiera Cass. Kiera Cass wrote the Selection series, which is one of my favorite series. And the reason why I actually wanted to read this book is because I read the first couple of the Selection series last time I went to my cottage, so I kind of thought it'd be cute to read another one of her books at my cottage, but I didn't get around to reading it at my cottage, so I read it once I got back. So this book is about Kayleen. I think that's how you said her name. So Kayleen is a siren, like the classic siren who sings and makes people die in the ocean. So she works for the ocean, and then one day she falls in love with a Kinley. I think that's how you say her name. Both really weird names. Anyways, she falls in love with a Kinley who is a human, but because she's a siren, she can't speak to him. So there's this whole entire forbidden romance aspect, but also her being a mermaid, and siren, and she has siren friends. So you would think that this is a really cute, fun book with a great romance. It's actually very depressing. Kayleen spends majority of the novel just complaining and being depressed and crying, which kind of just gets repetitive. If I ever look down, I'm reading my notes. I really like the concept of this novel. It was really interesting that she was writing about sirens and learning more about that mythology and her spin on it, but yeah, it was just really, there was a lot of potential to this novel, but it was there were some really great moments in this novel that I really enjoyed. I really liked the friendship and the sisterhood in between all of the sirens. It has the potential to be an epic love story, and I just find that the complaining it just got annoying. It just fell short. I didn't have that gratification at the end of, oh, they're finally together. And actually, this was Kiera Cass's first novel that she wrote, so she actually wrote this before the Selection series, but this was published after, and I think that really shows that in this novel she was kind of figuring out her legs, and then it helped her be better in the Selection series. So overall, I would give this book a 3 out of 5. If you're a big Kiera Cass fan, I would still read it so you can read all of her works, but otherwise I would pass. And the final book I read this month is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. So this is a part of the Twilight saga. This is basically the first novel, Twilight, from the perspective of Edward. So I want to say I'm a huge Twilight fan. I absolutely loved those books as a kid. I would watch all of the movies right when they first came out. I had posters, I had all of the collector's books. I even have a necklace that has a little Twilight book on it, so I'm a huge fan, but I also know that the books are not the greatest. Like, I do realize that there is a lot of like issues with the novels, so I am well aware that it is not necessarily a good novel. But anyways, when Midnight Sun come out, I just had to read it to fulfill my teenage fantasy. So like I said, this is Twilight from the perspective of Edward, and overall, yeah, I don't know, maybe because I'm like older that like I realize how bad this is, but like it was really repetitive and it was really slow. Like the first half of the novel was so slow. I think like Stephanie could like cut out like huge chunks of the novel or just like condense a lot of it, because a lot of it at the beginning, when like before Edward and Bella like really know each other, he's just like complaining about like how good her blood smells. Like it's just so much that like I feel like a lot of it could be cut down. Like this is a 600-page novel and it definitely doesn't need to be a 600-page novel, but at the same time I really did enjoy reading it and being back in the world. And it was because it's from Edward's perspective, you get to know a lot more about his family, and like his family are just like so cool. Like they're definitely the best part of the series to me. I really did enjoy getting to know more about the family. Also, because it's from Edward's perspective, you get the whole experience of him reading minds, so that was also really enjoyable. It's interesting how being able to read from Edward's perspective can change your feelings on characters. Like I actually didn't mind Jessica in the Twilight novels, but reading it from Edward's perspective, it's like, wow, Jessica's a bitch. So that was really interesting. But I do have a lot of issues with Edward himself, and like he's just so controlling. Like he's a very controlling person, and like yes, when you're hearing his thoughts and rationale, like okay, maybe you can rationalize it a bit more, but like not really. At the end of the day, he's a very controlling person, and I don't really like, first of all, I was never an Edward fan to begin with. I was always team Jacob, and this kind of made me even more I'm not a huge fan of Edward, but yeah. Anyways, I would give this book a 3 out of 5 just because like I'm such a fan of the series and being able to go back into the world. There were some redeeming qualities to it, but overall it wasn't the greatest. So if you are a fan of Twilight, read this book. But if you aren't a huge big fan of Twilight, totally pass this book because you won't enjoy it. And now to finish off TV shows. Unfortunately, I don't have anything told, and I don't think I'm good enough at editing to put a picture. But anyways, so the first TV show I'm watching is Canada's Drag Race. I won't say any spoilers because I am also an episode behind, and I think another episode will be aired by the time I post this. Anyways, I'm watching Canada's Drag Race. I'm a huge Drag Race fan. I haven't watched all the seasons, but like basically there. But yes, I'm watching Canada's Drag Race. Also, I think I forgot to mention in my first post that I am Canadian. I am living in the suburbs of Toronto, so I'm watching Canada's Drag Race not only as a fan of Drag Race, but as a Canadian. So it's been so fun to like, there is something slightly different about the Canadian queens, and it's like so funny. Like Rita Vega is like hilarious, and like because she's French Canadian and my mom's French Canadian, so like I relate to like a lot of like what she's talking about. But anyways, really enjoying the season so far. The second show I'm watching is that I'm rewatching The Great Canadian Baking Show, or like whatever the whole entire name is. It's a long name. It's The Canadian Baking Show. Anyways, I don't know if they just recently added this or it's been there for a while and it just popped up on my Netflix, but they do have 3 of the seasons on Netflix, so I am rewatching it with my mom, and that has been really fun. I will say Dan Levy is amazing. He's the best part of the show because he samples everything. Like if I were a host, I would be him because he literally like samples all the food while they eat it. Anyways, I really enjoy it. It's a very nice and easy thing to watch. Like, you know, like sure you're a little stressed, like are they gonna finish, but it's nothing too stressful. It's just a very nice, enjoyable thing to watch. So highly recommend watching it. Also because I like watching it at night with my mom, and then we're like eating dessert as we're like watching them make dessert, and then I'm inspired to make new things or buy treats as a big fan of baking. I love the show. Another show that I'm also watching with my mom is America's Got Talent. I could like go on and on about my love about America's Got Talent, but yes, I'm also watching that as well. And the final show that I'm watching is Sex and the City. I am still on the first season, so you know, my thoughts may change as I go along, but so far I am really enjoying it. I've never watched it before, and I'm kind of happy that I'm watching it the first time as like an adult, because I don't know necessarily if I would get a lot of things or relate to it as well if I was watching it when I was younger. It's really great, like, you know, as someone who's like starting their career and is single, and I'm just like, oh my god, am I gonna be single forever? Like, it's great to watch these like 4 women who are like kicking ass in their jobs, but like they're single and they're like struggling, but they're like still doing all right. They're still happy. They're like, writing in that show is like on point. Like, whoever is the writer is doing a great job. Totally love it. And yeah, I'll update you guys if my thoughts and opinions change. Anyways, guys, that is my favorites slash like month in review. Like I said, please let me know if you have any recommendations on how I should improve this. You know, are there certain things you want me to talk about? Is there a certain order that you want me to do? Please let me know. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And I think that's it for now, guys. I will see you soon. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, bye.